flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Consider approval of the agenda. Is anybody having amendments to the agenda? If not, I do. We're going to go to department items and go 8.1, and it's going to be revised job description for Park and Rec Director. So we'll consider that at 8.1. I need a motion to approve that.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Agenda accepted by Commissioner Smith and second by Commissioner Roberts. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Public forum. Public comments may be sent during a live meeting broadcast on the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at Huron. SD.com city government. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account with your YouTube and Gmail or use your existing accounts. Please state your name, address for the record. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Does anybody have anything for public forum tonight? Nobody on nutrition? I believe our HR director is watching the computer for any questions that you may have, and he will alert me, and we'll stop the meeting and try to answer your question to the best of our ability. With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda and matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion, unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items moved from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. 4.1, minutes from the June 7th, 2021 City Commission. 4.2, fuel quotes for city departments. 4.3, raffle, American Legion Post 7 during the state convention on June 24th and 27th at the Huron Event Center. 4.4, personnel items. Recommend hiring McKenna Lonis for coach pitch T-ball. Recommend hiring Eunice Minstro for coach pitch T-ball. And terminate Sean Reddy from the seasonal lifeguard position. 4.5, payment of the bills. Have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Bragg and seconded by Commissioner Weinrich. Any discussion on any of those? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Bid quote items. I see we have our Dennis Bennett, our assistant engineer tonight. Dennis, will you take 5.1, please?
Yeah, this is a construction change order by Top Grade Concrete for the concrete replacement. We have been approached by John Deniger and Bill Barthlow. We'll be paving Weibel Drive this year, and it would help our drainage situation and Prostrello's drainage situation by installing this concrete valley gutter. It is not in the budget, but Prostrello's has agreed to split the cost 50%. So if we do that, $25,582.70 is the bid, which would be split 2 ways. Asking for commission's direction and approval of that.
Okay. Have a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Commissioner Smith. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Weinrich. Any discussion on this item? Yes, Mr. Bragg.
So just for clarification, the 25 is the total, or that's just our portion?
That is the total, so it would be half that, 12,750.
And you said in your summary it would be beneficial to Prostrello, but it would also solve our issues from the city standpoint. What benefits will there be for this drainage improvement?
Correct. It will should increase the life of our road also. So
And can you give it just a quick guide or layout of what exactly you'll be doing there?
The east side of Prostrello right now drains onto the asphalt, and we're trying to use asphalt as a valley gutter. Doesn't last very long when you do that. So this would go from the corner to past the body shop. Then we have inlets at both ends, so we would drain the water to both ends.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Gregg.
Aye.
Rovich.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Moving on to 5.2, Dennis.
Okay, this is for the bituminous road oil for street, chip sealing and stuff projects. And this is something that we try to buy off county bid sometimes, but didn't make it this year, so we went out and got quotes for $5.94 per ton. And, Jebro Incorporated was the low bidder, and we recommend approval.
Okay, need a motion to approve on this item?
Motion to approve?
Commissioner Wymer's motion approved, need a second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Any discussion on this item?
I have a question.
Yes, Commissioner Smith.
How does the pricing on that compare in general?
$30 a ton more, so it's higher than it's normally been, but it's not as bad as I was expecting this year with the volatility of the oils. So,
Is that like $30 higher than what the county's price was, or?
no, it's not that much more than the county's was. I don't know the number off the top of my head. I want to say like $7 a ton.
No, it wasn't
It wasn't
extremely significant.
right.
So how much of that will we buy?
$122,000 is projected cost. And we have a lot of roads to chip seal. The plan is after 5 years of mill and overlay, we go in and chip seal. So the next couple of years, we're gonna have bigger ones because we've been trying to catch up on the roads.
Sure. And I see that's in your write-up, Dennis, so sorry about that.
No problem.
Mayor, I got one.
Yes,
question.
Commissioner Rovich.
So how much of that are they doing that or are we doing that? We're just buying the.
This is just the product.
Okay.
Our street crew does the work.
We're doing it.
We get chips from Spencer Quarries put on. So we got the distributor for oil and the distributor for chips that we do the work.
Sure thing, thank you.
And that was $5.94 a ton?
$5.94 per ton. Why they don't do it in gallons, I don't know.
Per ton. Okay. Any other discussion on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Gregg.
Aye.
Rovich.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Now we're moving on to 5.3, Dennis.
Okay, this is a payment request from Asphalt Paving. It's for the retainage. Generally, this is well, he's got 66% of the work done, so we agreed to pay out 66% of the retainage. Recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Commissioner Bragg, motion approved. Second on this item.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Weinrich. Okay. Any discussion?
Just so understanding here, typically we retain 10% of the total amount of the cost, and then once it gets more than halfway done, or is it
10%
3/4?
up to 50% of the project, and then it's capped at 50%. It reaches the cap then for the
Mhm.
retainage.
And so my understanding is then he
Total.
would have 24,000 left that will be payable at the,
Yep.
once he
Once
finishes
he
the
comes
project
back
in
and
the
does more
fall.
work for us, when he does, finishes the project this fall, there's $23,991.98 left. So he'll get that at the completion of the project in the fall.
So he's got paid up through all that he's done before he left the city.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All the asphalt and milling that has been done has been paid.
Okay, okay. Any other questions on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Henricks.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay. Now we're going to move on to petitions and communications, and our city attorney Tucker Valesky will handle 6.1.
Thank you, Mayor. 6.1, consider renewal of legal services agreement with Tucker Valesky for city attorney services. In your agenda packet, you have a red line version of the original agreement that has been in place. It was effective up till May 31st. So it reflects a longer term of 4 years, increased pay, the ability to initiate and maintain actions in circuit court for nuisance abatement. Other than that, all other terms are essentially remain the same. It's been a privilege serving as city attorney this last year, and I would request that the agreement be renewed.
Okay, I need a motion to approve this item.
Move to approve.
Two, Commissioner Weinrich, need a second on this item.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Bragg. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. We'll see your smiling face for the next 4 years.
Glad to be here, absolutely.
We're glad to have you, by the way.
Can't believe we didn't put a provision for a haircut in there.
But we did not put out a provision yet.
That would require a signing bonus.
And I'm a little sensitive to hair, so let's not talk about that.
We did.
All right, here we go. Ordinance and resolutions. Tucker, you're up again.
Thank you, Mayor. 7.1, first reading of ordinance number 2224, a temporary ordinance regarding the issuance of local medical cannabis establishment permits and/or licenses, set second reading for June 21st.
I need a motion to approve on this item.
Move to approve the first reading.
Commissioner Robish, move to approve the first reading. Need a second on this item.
Second.
A second, Commissioner Bragg. Any discussion on this item?
I have one thought, Mayor.
Yes, Commissioner Robish.
Last week, we discussed this a little bit, and we were saying we wanted this on the books in case of misinterpretation of the dates and whatever. This only says medical. I understand there's difference between medical and recreational, but will this cover recreational too, as long as someone doesn't say, well, July 1st it was voted in and it was okay?
Yeah, it's not, that's not being voted in on July 1st, though.
Well, it was already.
Well, it's currently held up in.
It's in court.
Yeah.
I understand that, but just so someone doesn't use that saying that it was, and if there's not a problem, there's not a problem.
Is there a problem with it?
Don't believe that there's a problem because the courts are speaking and have spoken as it relates to the recreational aspects of cannabis.
Good. So there will be no misunderstandings, correct, Chief?
I don't think so. The circuit judge in Pierre ruled that it was unconstitutional. So as it stands right now, the passing of it was unconstitutional. So the Supreme Court is hearing if it is or isn't unconstitutional at the time. The circuit court threw it out.
Good.
Any other discussion on this item? Tucker, can you address why we are doing a temporary order and not filling the pages up with stuff we don't know about?
Right, so we're doing the temporary ordinance because pursuant to the state statute, the State Department of Health is required to issue a regulatory scheme prior to the issuance of these certification, these cards, these marijuana dispensary cards that can be issued. So until the state promulgates its rules, which it doesn't have to promulgate until this fall, we're kind of jumping the gun on the issue a little bit, because we don't know what the state's regulations are, and we don't wanna put in something that would necessarily conflict with the state regulations at this point. So once we have more clarity from the state, we'll be able to move forward with a local regulatory scheme, should the commission decide to do that. This is just being put in place right now, as Commissioner Robish pointed out, so that the public has clarity that this will be the status of the law come July 1st.
Thank you. I noticed that Sioux Falls did the same thing, and I believe Lincoln County did the same thing, and they just put a temporary order in place, and they'll fill it in when they get the rules and regulations from our state.
Correct.
So,
I believe Beetle County's doing the same thing as well.
no. All right, anything else? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Wainwright.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay, now we're gonna go to 8.1, departmental items. Revised job description for Park and Rec Director. Who wants to lead off on that? Maria, come on up. Our HR Director, Nathan Hofer is coming up to give us the lowdown.
Right, so we met as a committee, or whatever you wanna call it, some, between, the park board, commission representation. And, we've decided that we would like to, revamp the job description for the Parks and Recreation Director. We geared it more administrative, took some of the get your hands dirty, chemical mixing things out of there that's kind of unrealistic with the way our org structure works to expect a director to do. So, we provided you with the red line copy of the things that we changed, broke it up a little bit so it was a little easier to read, and changed quite a bit of it actually, but I think this is the best option, the best wording for what we're actually looking for out of the position. We haven't had the opportunity to revamp this for so long, so
Okay.
recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Bragg, motion to approve. Need a second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Weinrich. Discussion on this topic.
So we, just follow up with what Nathan said, this group had a work session 2 weeks ago, Monday, and we kinda asked the question of what are the key things we're looking for in this position, and we felt that the job description, which is currently out there, and we do have advertised currently, did not directly address some of the feeling of what this commission wanted that position to be. So Nathan pulled this together by looking at some other cities and by writing essentially an entire new job description. So what we're looking for out of you guys here is that, I mean, we will be reposting the existing job that's already open, but with an updated job description. We are hopeful that that will get us some more candidates and that it'll better fit what you guys asked for during that work session as far as what we're looking for in the role. But Nathan did a lot of work getting this all pulled together here just real quick so we can have it ready for the meetings. And we would then, as soon as we get this passed here, we'd be able to get it posted right away, right?
Correct, so all the platforms that we have it posted on, I have to get Matty enough to call around again to see exactly where he all stacked up. We get it reposted on all platforms as an updated job description, and hopefully drum up a couple more for our employee pool.
And similar to Commissioner Smith's comments a couple weeks ago, it was not a reflection on the current candidates that we have. We
No.
just want to make sure, Ron's been in the position for 42 years. We want to make sure we're being responsible and give a lot of people that might be interested the chance to apply, and now this more clearly fits the candidates that we're hoping to get.
Yep.
I think we revised that 9 years ago, and we did the wage assignments or wage studies.
Actually, it was longer than that.
Longer than that, so it was well overdue to have it revised, because things have changed and duties have changed too, so I think it was a great idea. Any other discussion on this?
I have
Yes,
a question,
Mr. Smith.
if I may. As part of the responsibility for work for others, there's an identified in there with Splash Central. Wouldn't that be the Splash Central manager's responsibility for that, or?
Yes, but I think it's pertinent to put it in there as they're still the, I guess, the manager of the manager, or whatever you wanna call the
So
director of the position.
The way I would understand that then is the Park and Rec director would be the supervisor to the park, or to the Splash Central manager, correct?
Correct, yeah.
That's the way it is now,
The way it is now,
That's
yeah.
the way it is now,
Mhm.
okay.
but if we wanna change that, we'd add a whole new department, actually.
Yeah.
Any other discussion on this one?
I have a question,
Sure.
and it's kind of maybe an elementary question, but was it Parks and Recreation and Forestry
Yep.
before?
Mhm.
It was?
That's how it was listed, yeah.
Because we had talked about the tree service. That was a lot of our discussion on trees. Okay.
So that's how it was listed, and if we wanted to change the name, I guess we could, but, I mean, we took a lot of the tree stuff out of there, cause, you know,
It might scare some people away,
yeah.
our applicants. And we felt too that any expertise we need on trees, we can get from our state or our county government.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Yeah.
so we thought that, and, you know, when people call, we'll probably have to address them. Unless we get somebody that has some experience with trees, but that's gonna be, I told LaRon that was gonna be a shot we take, but I doubt if we'll get that person. But we certainly accept anybody who apply who'd want to.
And I think part of it, Mark, I agree, we talked about that not being as important, but one of the things Nathan found when he started doing the work, likely, we think one of the best pools, just like any job, you're looking at other folks that are already in this field, and it seemed like as we looked around, this job was quite often referred to with the forestry element, so just for the folks that are already in that industry, that's the way they would identify it, so I think that's part of why he kept it that way, just to be consistent with some of the other cities call their position that, so, I don't know that we wanted to pull that out, just because that was pretty consistent with most of the other
Yeah, it was.
postings that we looked at.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it being there, but I was just curious if we were cutting down trees and making paper.
Any other discussion on this topic? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Alright.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
I'm over here. Aye. That passed. With that, we don't have anything else more tonight, so we're done. Thank you, people.
Backwards,
Sure.
I think.
No.